We play.
We fight.
We conquer.
Welcome back to the Freak Show, where our one rule is eat our dust. It's mostly cinnamon. I am your host today, Bumpy McSquiggums. I'm going to be cut off here probably in a second, but the Crew Motorfest closed beta continues now with me, Bumpy, roaming around this area. This kind of little hub world area, starting location. A big shout out and a thank you once again to Ubisoft for hooking me up with the code for the closed beta and allowing me to do Twitch drops and all sorts of stuff. It's been a lot of fun doing some of those Twitch streams. Quite a few folks have come through, so it's greatly appreciated, and it's very cool to be #Ubisoft partner. All right, so I've roamed around this. All right, I'll give you guys some extra technical wizardry that I've done in a minute. We'll talk about my wizardry in a minute. So she should talk about this in a minute. Our not Siri / not Alexa, but maybe she won't. Maybe she won't. She is not talking about it. All right, so there are various different places around this area that kind of show off the custom designs that people have done, and in some cases like this one, you can actually vote and choose the ones that are your favorites. And those specific ones, or those particular ones with the most votes, will actually get to be on the podium, and other people will be able to see your designs. So for the people who, that's pretty neat. So for the people who really like to spend a lot of time and dive into the minutia and all the little tiniest of details to make the perfect design on the vehicle, you now actually have a place to showcase it other than just in the menus looking for other vehicles, or if someone buys your specific vehicle, then they go and they're like, oh, I wonder what the most popular designs are. That's kind of how it was in the Crew 2. Now there's actually a place people can go and say, I wonder what people have done. Oh, that looks cool. What kind of car is that? And then, they can go in and go, oh, it's that car. I love this design. And then, that might even shape the car that they want to pick up in the future. I do have a favorite so far from what I've seen. It's this one right here. It is the Mini, Cooper Mini S with the Rabbids. I think I'm going to have to try to see if we can't throw that custom design on our Mini. I don't think we can, and maybe that's a specific designed Mini. Don't really know, but we should check it out. You'll notice that I might have a few more cars than you last remember. And there's a reason for that. And like I said, I will try to explain it at some point. Top 100. These are exclusive. I want the top one. I want that Rabbids one. Wait, hold on, latest. They don't have like Oh, I wanted the one that was there. That's not okay. Well, it looks like crossplay is enabled for me, so I should actually be able to see my my people. Oh well. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into it. This is more or less what I did for my own. All right, so I'll talk about my technical wizardry, and then we will we'll start driving here. So, thing that and before I do that, or as I'm doing that, I'll just kind of scroll through the cars and stuff that I have, and you guys can take a peek at those. So, apparently, and I haven't been able to confirm this because I haven't reverted it back to test it myself, but apparently it's an OBS issue, and I have actually been having OBS issues with the streaming of Diablo 2 specifically. Diablo 2 uses almost 0% of my actual GPU. It's not a very intense game. But when streaming it and sending it, to Twitch, it was using over 80% of my GPU when I was in an area that had like lava. I don't know why. That should not be a thing, but apparently the latest version or versions, maybe the last 2 or 3, have changed a lot of stuff, and apparently is just trying to murder your video cards. I don't think it is murdering your video cards, but I have no idea why it would need 80% of my video card to stream Diablo 2. It's a very strange process. Anyway, that seems to be what the problem is. Apparently, the PC beta or the PC closed beta for the Crew Motorfest has been having issues for some people, and for some people it doesn't. And it's not even just running OBS itself, and then if you turn it off, it's fine. It's apparently something that's installed with you having the current version of OBS that's causing the issues, which, again, is unfortunate. I don't know that it's true. I was told that, not from anybody at Ubisoft, but from another streamer that apparently they read it or somebody else read it and told it to them, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, that might be the case. I don't know. Wild speculation at this point. It's just something that I heard. Crazy, crazy thing. I just know that I have noticed OBS issues myself, and that would not surprise me that that's a thing. Though it is still strange that not having the thing running, not having OBS running, is still causing the issue if it's installed. But I digress. So my workaround was I ended up with friend codes that I was able to send out. And those friend codes, I did send one to Commissar, and anyway, I ended up using one of those to send to my other Ubisoft account that I have, that I also have my wife using. And I kind of explained all this before, but essentially I redeemed the PS5 version of the game, and I was able to do the first video and the first stream and a half, I guess, with that. Now, I decided to test something, because with your PlayStation 5, you can actually make like a primary account and then use a secondary account, or any other account that's on that PS5. You can actually access the games from the primary account. So, my original PSN account is from the US. I have moved to Canada. I could not buy or do online stuff or whatever the case is with PlayStation Network with my US account. So I either had to convert it to a Canadian account, or I had to make a new account. So I figured all this stuff out in the era of the PS4, and with the PS4, again, they had kind of like account and library sharing that kind of worked. So I just made a new account, because I never know if I'm going to go back, because apparently you're only allowed to change once or something. I don't know. I remember reading, and there was a reason I didn't do it. And I know you guys want to get into it. I'm going to make this a longer episode, so bear with me through story time as we look through the cars here. Hopefully this is still perking your interest a little bit with the various different cars, and just listen to me babble for a little bit longer. I've unlocked the Supra, by the way, which is pretty cool. It's actually very underwhelming, if I'm being honest. It's quite slow, but again, everything is a little unupgraded, so it kind of makes sense. Also, comparing it with like a hypercar, ungood. Anyhow, two Ubisoft accounts, two PlayStation Network accounts. I went over to my main account on my PS5 is my Canadian account. That's how I'm able to purchase extra games. That's where I have the PlayStation Plus and stuff to be able to go online with certain things. Anyway, long story short, I went over to my American PSN account, and I was able to access the Crew Motorfest from my other account, my Canadian account. And the US account is tied to my main Ubisoft account. My other one is tied to my other account / my wife's account. And anyway, long story short, very, very, very long story, very, very, very short. I'm able to basically access it just like I would be able to on the PC through the PS5, and that's pretty cool. So it is very, very awesome that I can actually do that. So pretty good times. Pretty good times. All right, we're into the drift cars, and that's fine. We're into racing. I don't know what that means. There wasn't really a racing group. Maybe they're talking about like the pro circuit. Could be that. Maybe that's what it is. But I thought the pro circuit was after the hypercars. I know we're getting into the hypercars here. Right after the dragsters. And boom, into the hypercars. Now, my favorite hypercar is this one. My 918 Spider. Loves it. I have a few Bugattis. I've got a McLaren. I think I have another Bugatti. Yeah. Then I've got a couple Lamborghinis. Then I have the Citroen. Not sure what that is. The Creators, Tempesta, and then a Ferrari. And another Ferrari. And then we're into the Alpha Grand Prix cars, whatever they are considered. Then we have a couple of, I believe these are motocross things. Then we got the rally raids. Sorry, I'm not trying to skip a whole bunch of stuff. Apologies. Anyway, the whole point and the reason I'm showing you all this stuff is, and told you the story, is that I have my main account back that I'm able to share and showcase with you. I'm playing it on the PlayStation 5 still. And my entire library, or at least most of my library has been brought over from the Crew 2, and that's pretty exciting to me. I'm very happy and excited about it. We had some demolition cars there. Now we have the rally cars. And then we're going to get into the monster trucks. Finally, we have our series of power boats, our series of planes. Oops, sorry. There, and there. Now, the thing that I don't have, that I know means that we did not get every single thing that we could have gotten. I do not have my helicopter, which I normally do. Also, what does XP up mean? I don't know. All right, so what I think we'll do is let's modify the Supra. I do love that I have this, by the way. This is great. All right, let's modify the Supra. I didn't miss it yet. And let's see if we can't get that thing to be a little bit fancier. So this is kind of how the level up system works. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I'm going into a little bit more of the technical details and stuff you've missed, as opposed, or that you might have not seen yet, as opposed to just going straight through and racing. The racing's fun. I love it. It's kind of the whole crux of the game. But I feel like the Crew almost... I treat it as, or it feels almost like a racing RPG. I mean, there's different quests or things you can do, like taking a person from point A to point B, like a taxi service. You can go off the beaten path and just kind of explore areas, and you have to look on the map to find whatever it is. There's been a few innovations that they've thrown in. Tons of different races, from planes, trains, and automobiles. Not quite like that, but land, sea, and air. So you have a variety of boats. I also don't have any of my hovercraft. I'm just remembering now that I didn't see in the vehicle list. But you have, all sorts of different types of cars, different disciplines with those cars. You have, in this game specifically, the races feel very, very different, which frustrates me to no end. Like, I passionately hate some of the races because, not that they're bad, but they are so different that the cars don't work the same way that they should, or that they do in all the other races. Like, you can go around a corner with most cars at a whatever speed, or you slow down and then you go around a corner, you start accelerating, and you just kind of hug the road and you go. There's certain races now where if you do that, your car's going to spin out. You literally have to make it around a corner and then straighten out before you start accelerating, or you're just going to slide sideways. And it's so hard for me to go, this is not how this should work, because it doesn't work this way with any other races. And it's very frustrating, but it's also very cool to see that they have these different styles, and you really have to adhere to it. So like I said, I'm really liking what I've seen from the Crew Motorfest so far, and the Crew 2 and now the Motorfest have been, it's just an enjoyable race experience. Plus, I really like the idea of, without the RNG factor of like a gacha game where you get all these things, you're like, oh, I want this character and that character, and I could get a chance to unlock this. You actually get to go toward, or just save up your money and just flat out buy what you want, which is great. Huge roster of vehicles you get to collect, and then you get to upgrade them. So they start off, and all of them start off with various different levels. Let's back out just for a sec here. Like, you take a look at the Supra, its overall is a 481 performance level. You take a look at the R5 Coupe, it's a 477. You take a look at the VW 1966 Autobus, or whatever this is called, window bus, it's a 107. So they're all different, but you get the performance levels up to roughly the same. They still handle different, and they feel different when you drive them. Different levels of acceleration and braking and all that stuff. But you can be competitive with most things, and I don't mean like somebody who knows what the best car is and is on equal skill with you, and you're on a much inferior vehicle, that you're going to be competitive that way. But you can usually enter most races in, you know, against the AI and still perform well or even win with vehicles you absolutely shouldn't be able to do because you got their performance level up high enough. So, like I said, it's almost like a racing RPG in my mind and how I feel about, you know, driving around with the vehicle. You know what? There's actually a few vehicles here that have the XP up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the Mini. And I am going to upgrade this first. Then we're going to upgrade with whatever leftover parts we have to the Supra. So, anyway, like I said... Oh, what is going on here? Oh, street tier 1 levels. Oh. Okay, and then the others are street tier 2. I see, I think. Wait, what is... Oh, you can just go down. You don't have to... Alright, you used to have to back out and go into each individual thing to do it. Now you can just go here and then go down to the next one and keep going. Ah, that's much nicer. I like that a lot, actually. Very, very cool. So, I don't have the suspension. The suspension's slightly too high for us to actually grab. And that's it. So, we brought this thing up to 561 from whatever it was. I don't remember what it was at the start, which is improved it kind of drastically. I'm going to make that my favorite car for now. We are going to also go back over to the Supra, because I believe the Supra and all these cars that we're moving into right now are all considered tier 2 versions or variants of the car. Sorry, street racing tier 2, which I think is fantastic, by the way. I love the idea that there is a different tier, and it makes sense. That was something that I'm like, how is it like a Porsche and a VW bus the same thing, on the same level, even if with performance parts? So I like that they branched it out a little bit more. And yeah, I won't be able to get my performance up super high, but pretty decent. The Supra will definitely feel a little bit better to drive now. And boom. So that's the best we can do there. It is over 640. I think we're going to drive this vehicle. I think that's going to be the plan here. Oh, I'm in the plane. Alright. And again, hypercars and stuff. We are going to do some races. We're going to try to finish out the Porsche thing. I think that's going to be my goal for our closed beta on YouTube. But again, I do encourage you guys to check out the live streams as they, well, chances are by the time this video or maybe the next video goes up, all the live streaming will be done and the event will be over. But it's still just been a blast, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my time. All right, let's see how the Supra feels now.
Journey, driver?
It's a little bit better. I'm going to go into some...
Muscle cars are synonymous with raw power, and American-made motors are some of the most powerful out there. We wanted you to experience how Porsche measures up against some other iconic automotive powerhouses.
We're not going to... Well, I'm going to go through the tunnel, and then we're going to turn into a plane again. But I'm not going to drive the full 10 miles to the place. That seems silly to me. Alright, well, while we're heading to our adventure zone here, I am going to actually show you guys a few other things that I've done. And I really like this as well. So like I said, this is going to be a bit more into the various things that you can do. Not necessarily 100% a focus on racing. We are going to do some races. This episode's going to go a little bit longer than a traditional 25 to 30 minute episode. But again, I think this stuff is important, and it helps you guys understand what you can and can't do. Like I said, I think it's a very important thing. Bunch of different settings. I'm not going to go through all of these. If you are from Europe or other places that don't use the Imperial system, which is most places, I realize, you can switch to metric or Imperial. So you have those options available to you. I think that's great, and I'm happy that it exists. You can turn on the UI's freestyle, apparently. And I think you can like change where stuff is. I don't know. I haven't really played with this, but it does look like you can kind of modify and move where stuff is. I don't know how to do that. Like I said, I haven't played with it, but I saw this was a thing. I thought it was pretty cool. You turn your speedometer on and off if you don't want to see it. Same thing with the crew widget. If you don't want the stuff over on the right-hand side popping up, you can turn that off. Whole bunch of stuff. I'm not going to go through all of these, but you guys can see there's a whole bunch of stuff here. If flying's giving you a hard time, you can avert the axes and all sorts of stuff. It's good stuff. It's compelling. It's rich. If you need to choose a specific zone to play in, say you got some European friends like I do, and you want to choose a specific spot, they can all show up and do that. I think that's pretty good as well. Difficulty. This is the one that I really, really wanted to dive into. So, I'm not going to change through them, I don't think. Oh, well, okay. I guess I did change through them. I can reset it. I know what it is. All right, so if you start with amateur, and I think a lot of people might try this out, I find that the controls are very unresponsive, and I make a lot of micro adjustments myself while I'm driving, like a little left or a little right here and there. There's counter steering, all sorts of stuff that just stop you from doing that, I feel. Like, I don't mind traction control, and I don't mind the electronic stability necessarily. But, well, I do. I think this is the thing I don't like. This helps. It's a lot of steering assist. And I don't, counter steering assist, stuff like that. I don't like that. It hurts. It hurts me a little bit. I feel like I'm not in control of the vehicle. By the time it realizes, oh, you want to turn? It gives me a much harsher turn, and then it tries to auto-correct and steer. I don't find that I enjoy driving this way, but it will help a lot of people as they get used to the speeds and everything else. And I like the fact that they have that. And it also shows that your event difficulty, when you go in and you start doing battles and whatnot, against the, just going through the playlist or whatever it is, you're going to have a little bit of an easier time against the AI opponents. And unfortunately, there's no extra XP bonus you're going to be getting from that, but that's fine. Now, you can still choose amateur and pump this up, which I think is a really cool feature, that you can actually get the vehicle to drive the way you want it to drive, and yet still adjust the difficulty manually to wherever you want it. But we're going to go back up here to amateur. We're switching over now. So like racing line, like all this stuff is here. A lot of it's on, some of it's not, and that's fine. Then we go over to intermediate. I think a lot of people will be playing around with this, and essentially this gives you a bit of driving assist still, but it's a lot less. And for me, it still was just a little bit too much of things being out of my control, and I still did not like it. But I was like, I don't really want to go with the expert mode because I don't think I'm quite ready for the expert mode, right? Like the difficulty of it, I tried it and I could maybe hang in there like third, fourth. Sometimes I could win. It was like really, really tough. And getting used to switching from the easier difficulties to the harder difficulties, or presets, I should say, made it, you had to struggle a little bit to kind of get things to work because it's just different. You're sliding out more and trying to control your vehicle. It takes a while to adapt. So what I found is I like going to expert mode. I don't keep it on 4. I still find that a little bit too hard for me. I'm probably at the point now where I could do 4 more competitively, and at some point I may actually up it to 4. But I put it 2. 1 is the beginner, the amateur. 2 is the intermediate. I like putting it at 3, right between intermediate and expert. That feels like a really good fit where I can make mistakes and yet still come back from said mistakes. Whereas I find that expert, unless I drive almost perfectly on 4, I barely can keep up, and I don't even want to know what 5 is like. So 3 for me is about the difficulty I want, with maybe moving to 4 at some point in the future. I like the guidance being on. I'm used to being like having a line showing me where I'm going. The arrows where it tells you how fast or slow you're going, that is, I believe, new to the Crew Motorfest. Before, you just basically, you're going in these directions, and you had to decide how fast you need to go around corners and so on and so forth. You can turn all that off if you want. I still like having the right racing line, so I'm going to keep the racing line on. And again, totally up to you. You can turn it off, on, have it just for braking or whatever. I like, again, kind of knowing where I'm going, where I don't have to necessarily stare at the mini-map the whole time. I still glance down there, I get a rough idea what's going on. I'm not going to do any auto braking, any of that. I'm leaving a rewind on. I don't believe you can do this when you're racing with other people. So like say I invited Splooch or Commissar with me, and we're all racing through some events together. I don't believe you can use the rewind, but I'm not sure. I haven't tested that yet. But it wouldn't make sense. It'd be very weird. You're driving along, and all of a sudden your friend rewinds the race. You're like, oh, what's going on? That'd be really strange, right? And obviously, you want to have nitrous on. You can always switch the view to cockpit view if you want to. Not going to do that. You can do that manually. You don't have to come into the options to do that. You just hit a button on your controller. It's fine. ABS is on. I'm going to leave it on. Traction control is off. I don't remember if I turned... I think I did. I think I turned this to sport. I kept the ESP off. I took the drift assist off. Counter steering's off. And the airplane handling assist is off. The planes are very responsive and quite hard to control with the assist off. But you're able to control the plane. Like, you're able to fly in like a knife, like, on its side. And it's essentially how it was in the first... or in the Crew 2. However... if you turn the assist on, it is a lot easier to do a lot of things because it will auto correct you to level all the time. So in some ways that's easier, a lot less likely that you're going to lose control of your plane and crash, but at the same time you can't do a lot of cool stuff with it. So bear that in mind. I don't know if like we're going to get flying events where they will maybe automatically disable so you can do other things. I'm not sure, but those are options that I really wanted you guys to see because I'm really excited that we have this level of control over how the game assists us and allows us to actually play. I think that's fantastic, and I'm super excited about that. And I found what works really well for me, or at least I think it does. Maybe I'm insane. Maybe it doesn't work well at all, and I'm terrible at it. But this is basically my custom loadout. Play around with the settings if you guys get a chance to, and see what works for you. All right. And that's pretty much all I'm going to really do. There's subtitles on, subtitles off. You can change the size, the background of it if you want. If it's hard to read the subtitles without a background, you can change the opacity to make there be like a little black box around it, so it's a little easier to read. So you have that contrast. They have colorblind mode and a whole bunch of other stuff to really, help you and folks that have any kind of issues with the various different settings. I think that's great too. It's always nice to see accessibility options in games. All right, enough of that. Let's get to some racing. I think I've pretty much talked about everything I wanted to talk about that did not involve doing the racing stuff. So we're going to probably go through 2 more events for the Porsche, and then the 3rd episode, I think we'll finish up the entire Porsche event. We'll focus almost exclusively on that, and if we have any time left over on that one, we'll do something else. I don't know. I don't know exactly what we'll do, but we'll do something else. All right, let's get moving. We are pretty far from our location.
Is the 911 Turbo 3.6, one of the most famous sports cars in the world. Get ready to face off against some muscle car monsters.
I'm okay with that. Okay, so you can. All right, so you wouldn't be able to do this. Is what I was talking about essentially. You wouldn't be able to do this and just keep it in that location while you're driving or flying along if you have the assist on. It will always automatically bring you back to basically level. But also, watch how out of control you can get with this. Like you can go pretty quick with the air rolls and all sorts of stuff like that. There's a bunch of things that bring you out of control. And you really have to rely on drifting if you want to make little, minute adjustments.
You're going up against some tough muscle cars.
You know what?
But you're still driving a Porsche, so take care of it and avoid collisions as much as possible.
There's treasure out here somewhere. I heard it beeping at us. I don't know where it is. Ah, okay. It's in this direction. So I think it is. I heard the beep. Right? Like we heard the beep at one point. Alright, we're gonna go back this way. And we're gonna try to figure out where it is. Alright, it's not working. No. This is exactly how planes work. With that vertical up. Let's see if we can't figure out where the treasure was. I definitely heard it. So, as you fly around, or drive around, sometimes you'll come across, you'll hear like a boop, 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 boop. And generally what that means is there's treasure nearby. Maybe I was doing some sort of weird, crazy combination thing, and it was telling me that I'm doing amazing, crazy combination things. I don't know. But I'm definitely not hearing the beeps now. So I guess it's a no-go on the beeping. Woohoo! Like that, huh? It's pretty impressive. Oh well. I overshot before I decided to address it, and that's okay. I also could have been too high in the air. We were pretty low last time when it was showing up. We are still very far away from our destination. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the crazy flight. You sure you guys don't want me to fly you around? Maybe your first flight ever? Just hop in the plane, let me take control? It'll be a memorable experience, I can assure you. I mean, for, all the seconds of your life that may or may not remain. I cannot guarantee safety or survival. But boy, the experience, right? Alright, I am going to attempt my my not patented at all, because I can't seem to do it very often. But, nope. My boat dropped. Oh, I almost did it. I actually was very, very close. I've only managed to land the boat drop into this once. But it was a very, very big deal for me, so I was very happy about it. All right, let's get into some Porsche 911 Turbo 3.6 racing, because I do enjoy. If we're lucky, we'll be all hopped up on soy. No soy for us. Yeah, I'd take this car in a heartbeat. In fact, this is my dream car, by the way. If I had a vehicle that I would want, that I could just, if I could actually afford it and everything else, it'd be this vehicle. I need to find a way past these guys. They are not wanting to let me. Okay. Guess I'm going in hard because it got slammed into the back there. I'm trying to drive clean. It's them that's making it dirty. I'm just saying. All right. Oh, I might have lost it a little bit there. I was like, I don't know exactly where the exit is here that I want. Okay, buddy. I meant to do that. I was just seeing if,
Amazing driving skills.
Well, I mean, at times you're not wrong there, but at times you're kind of wrong. There we go. Again, a bit messy. Wanted to get through the crowd, and thankfully I was able to. Alright, still got a pretty sizable percentage to cover. Past those two, there we go, of the race. And not that much to really do to catch our...
I wish I could drive this good.
Our compatriot here. Alright, managed to surpass him. and outperform just a little
That's
bit.
some pro driving here.
Oh my goodness. Alright, sir. You had your boost at a different time than I decided to go for mine. Sir, you did that on purpose. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright. I guess we're gonna go neck and neck, huh, friend? Alright, that's fine. Okay, I might not have done that as smooth as I may have wanted. Again, clean driving. Alright, yeah, I knew that was a bit ambitious with Captain Happy Pants over here. Alright, dude, you shoved me super hard into the dirt. Alright, I will give you a little bit of leeway here. You can have the lead for right now. Because I will definitely take it back. Because I plan to utilize my boost hopefully better than you did there with yours. Nope. Okay. Let's see, I feel like, again, this is about where I should be skill-wise, right? Told you that three-piece to me is about where it's at, where I can still make the mistakes and stay, you know, kind of in the mix here. I'm just going to have to plow through it since you kind of threw me off course a little bit there. Oh yeah, we definitely taking shortcuts. Taking them deep cut shortcuts. All right. Oops. Oh boy. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. I would never make a tactical blunder like that. I kind of did steer a little too early. You're not going to surpass me, friend. I'm sorry. I'll even finish sideways because I had that much free time. Also, you know, the ability to rewind a little bit here and there. That's maybe not great, but it's okay. I do try to rely on it less and less, but sometimes bad bumpy's just bad bumpy. That's all you really can do. Alright, we hit level 3. I don't know what that actually does or means for us right now, but that's cool. I got some new pants is what it means. Some cream colored pants. Ooh, we're getting some, well, fancier ones. Remember, I still need something that's like 600 to finish off this bad boy here.
Congratulations, driver. On to the next one.
Alright, we're not too far away from our next meet. Essentially, we're going to go there, we're going to go through it, and then we are going to go and that's it. We're going to break off the episode and, oh my goodness, turn.
You know, Porsche's manufacturers are in Stuttgart, Germany. Do you know what's special with Germany when it comes to driving cars? Yes, Autobahns with no speed limit driving.
Exactly.
So we provided you with a speed powerhouse to drive Hawaii's highway. So drive fast and drive clean.
You hear the beeping? We're gonna go explore that. Getting closer. Hope nobody's doing late night practice. All right. I don't think I can go this way. Kind of get to go on a scavenger hunt. I don't know what it looks like. Why am I in a kid's park here? Okay, it's not this way. Getting closer. It's to my left. There it is. Alright. What are we getting? I don't know. What do we get? Just money? Usually you get like a car. There we go. So usually you get a car part or two from it. Okay, let's see if that actually helps the vehicle that we're driving. Again, a little bit of a longer episode, folks. Alright, upgrade. We did. We got the suspension. Yay! Alright, this thing is now officially maxed out. There's probably still going to be like the gold variants. These all have these little mini things that you can get. You see these little symbols above the... there's one above this. There's two above the purple, so one above the blue, two above the purple, none above the green, and then there's usually a yellow variant as well. And you can get like a set bonus for the yellow variants and all sorts of cool stuff. So, yeah, it pays to... You get those rewards for racing as well, just to be clear. But it does pay to go and look around and do stuff, and your car definitely handles better and becomes more powerful as you level it up. Alright, let's get to the race. Let's get through this episode. Our detour took us, you know, to an interesting place, if nothing else. No, we ran out. It didn't let me boost immediately when I was falling. I think I would have made it if I could have. I had to let off the button and go again. I'm like, no, I made a mistake. All right, let's do this one. This should be a good time. The 911 GT1. I mean, all of these have been a good time so far. We have no ground clearance though, so if somebody throws a Cheez-It out the window, we're gonna crash and die. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Alright, maybe I should have let off the throttle a little bit on that, but we have no rear window either, which is disturbing. I feel like I didn't hit that, but clearly I did. Oh, this is tough actually. I remember struggling with this one. It gets a little easier later into the race, but well, that guy had a bad time. On you, Flynn.
You can do better.
I could. Sometimes. Flynn and I, we don't see eye to eye, but that's okay. And by the by... Oh.
This car deserves love.
It does, but it also deserves people not to get in front of me randomly for no reason. Steering around these knuckleheads is just about as difficult as everything else that we were doing. Alright. I think we have a slight advantage now that we're ahead, but we got to keep that advantage. And I got to remember to utilize my boost. Usually I get ahead, and I am used to doing 2-player or more co-op races, just, you know, the crew hanging out and doing races in the crew too. And if I take an early lead, usually the person in second place is either right there with me and we're fine, or if one of, you know, Splooch or whoever is with me, they're back battling it out for like second and third, and I just get further and further ahead. And I don't usually have to use my boost when I'm up ahead. I'm gonna have to remember to actually do that. Also, I just want to point out, I don't particularly know what happened to it, but oh my god, my racing line disappeared, and I don't know why. I'm like trying to like communicate what I'm about to say. I'm like, I don't know what happened, and I'm like, oh, I've lost complete control of my vehicle. This is weird. It's fine. I just don't know why my racing line vanished. Charlie's catching up on me. It'd be nice to know if I'm going a little bit fast or slow. Wish Charlie would get out of my way. Alright, I think I've got this. Yeah, I do. Alright, that was kind of close. Yeah, I don't know where my racing line went. It's possible I hit a button or something that caused it to disappear. I don't know. Sometimes it used to just randomly happen in the Crew 2. That's the first time I think I've seen it actually just vanish. So, we still finished in our top 3, so I'm pretty excited by that. And again, oh, we got a car last time, and now we're working toward the pants. I got you. That's what's going on. Oh, we got a lot of hypercar parts too, which is nice. So I'll show you guys my favorite car. We'll drive around for like a minute, and then that'll do it for the episode. We drove around with this thing. It was, it's fine, the Mini. My favorite street car. It is actually probably the 911 Turbo. Not the Carrera S. Did I pass it already? I don't think so. Maybe I did. The Cayman 4. It's this one right here. It's the 911 Turbo 3.6. I do like the Cayman 4 T as well, but this is my favorite just normal driving around vehicle. I love that thing. It's great for street races, and then of course I told you guys about the Spider. It's my favorite supercar. Let's toss the upgrades on them. And like I said, we'll drive around for a minute, and then that'll be it. That'll be it for the episode. It'll be great. Hopefully you all enjoyed this episode. Again, hopefully you guys had a chance to check out the live streams. I found out, I believe after the first day, that the live streams actually, the Twitch drop for the live streams was access to the closed beta. So anybody who came through and watched actually got a nice surprise that they could redeem on whatever platform they wanted. Now, the downside is the closed beta ends on the 24th. So, yeah. Basically means chances are, if you haven't done it yet, you're probably not going to get a chance to check it out. It was for the people that were super interested and excited in it. Ubisoft decided to give them a nice little boost there. All right, so our Spider is our number 1. Wow, this thing is just really, really good by default. Jung's happy somewhere. Somewhere Jung is super happy. All right, here's our Spider.
After trying Porsches on the streets and back roads, there's only one place left to try.
She's she's a super enjoyable vehicle to drive. And
the track is where the 911 and its engineering really shine.
With the
We've got our hands on the GT3 Cup, a model designed with track racing in mind.
Cool.
It's one of the fastest cars Porsche has ever made.
She's not gonna stop this. Anyway, with the hypercar, the speeds that you get with the hypercar, really, really enjoyable. One of the main reasons I like the hypercar is just the increased speed. It's like street racing, just faster. You're going, 250 sometimes.
This playlist is all about clean racing.
So, and then you can kind of do this, which is cool. You see that, huh? That's a move I've practiced a multitude of times. Still can't do it 100% right every time. And then, of course, you get the whip around into straight again. Good stuff. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it for this particular episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed. A big shout out and a thank you once again to Ubisoft for hooking me up with the code for this, allowing me to do the Twitch drop streams and all of that wonderful stuff. #Ubisoft partner. Anyway, folks, till the very next episode where we close out the rest of the Porsche showcase / playlist. I've been your host, Bubby Squiggums. Thank you so much for stopping by the Freak Show. We play, we fight, we conquer.